Every day, numerous species of animals are becoming extinct. Habitat destruction, hunting, climate change, and other factors are to blame, resulting in many species becoming highly uncommon in the wild. From big cats to ancient turtles, these species are now few and far between in nature. These animals are becoming increasingly rare in the wild. The Red List of Threatened Species of International Union for Conservation, a complete survey of species conservation status worldwide, includes several rare animals from the forests of the world. In this video, we are going to show you the rarest animals in the world according to the Red List of Threatened Species of International Union for Conservation and the Worldwide Fund for Nature. But before we do that, you are requested to subscribe unimaginable and press the bell icon if you love watching rarest things of the world. The animal world is a fascinating location with vibrant creatures that swim, fly, run, walk, and wander freely. A lot of animals are on the verge of extinction, including some you may not have heard of. So without any further delay, here are the top 15 rarest animals in the world. Number 15. Addax. The Addax is a species of antelope that formerly roamed deserts of Africa. You can only encounter them in the Nigerian termit Tintuma region now. Thousands of Addaxes are kept in captivity in various preserves throughout the world, with around 30 to 90 mature adults believed to be remaining in the wild. The Addax has faced rampant hunting over time, as well as an increase in oil drilling and political upheaval, which has driven even more armed humans to their habitats. Number 14. Amur leopard. The Amur leopard is a resident of Amur region of Russia and China. It is mostly hunted for its spotted fur, and the population has risen from around 14 animals in 2005 to approximately 84 mature adults today. The species recovery has been bolstered by the creation of a reserve in the Russian Far East, but prey scarcity will prevent them from re-establishing their historic range. The Amur leopard is a big cat weighing between 75 and 100 pounds that can run at speeds of 37 miles per hour, bound 19 feet horizontally, and jump 10 feet straight up into the air. Number 13. Sumatran rhinoceros. The Sumatran rhinoceros is the next of our list of the top 15 rarest animals in the world, and it is one of the most critically endangered big animals in the world, with just a few individuals remaining in Indonesia. Their population has fallen by over 80% over the previous 30 years due to poaching and habitat destruction, and there are now thought to be only 30 viable populations. Because its population is so divided that it is hard to combine many of them together, this species has been classified as critically endangered. Even with conservation efforts, it is doubtful that 2 to 5 rhinos can be saved in small groups of 2 to 5 individuals. The greatest known group has only 15 mature rhinoceroses. Number 12. Saola. The Saola is a relative of cattle that more closely resembles a deer. Due to their rarity and secretive behavior, they are sometimes known as Asian unicorns. The Saola was only discovered in 1992 in the evergreen forests of Vietnam, and no study to determine their number has ever been successful owing to the thick jungle and political turmoil in Laos. Habitat destruction and continuous hunting to meet local demand for bushmeat and medical ingredients are among the threats to Saola. Researchers have determined that because the Saola is rarely seen on trap cameras, it is likely that no viable herds remain. The Saola is not kept in captivity, and there is a wide range of estimates for how many mature adults exist in the wild, from 25 to 750. Number 11. Bornean orangutan. The Bornean orangutan, also known as the Malayan orangutan, is a species of orangutan that lives on Borneo. It belongs to the only genus of great apes native to Asia, along with the Sumatran orangutan and Tapanuli orangutan. Orangutans are extremely intelligent, displaying tool usage and unique cultural traditions in the wild. Orangutans and humans have approximately 97% DNA in common. The Bornean orangutan is a critically endangered species that is highly threatened by deforestation, palm oil plantations, and hunting. Over the previous 6 decades, orangutan populations have dropped by more than 50%, and the area of their habitat has shrunk by half in recent years. The Bornean orangutan is limited to the island of Borneo and numbers less than 104,700 remaining in the wild. Number 10. Red wolf. The red wolf is the rarest animal in North America, but it is also one of the most endangered. This species had vanished from the wild by 1980, but it was reintroduced into eastern North Carolina by the U.S. government in 1987. In fact, over 150 animals have established themselves themselves in the region as a result of this rapid expansion. This rapid growth brought about concerns over crossbreeding with coyotes and conflict with area landowners. With those conflicts, the federal government reduced the program to just cover federal lands and nature reserves in the eastern part of the state. In this region, only a pack of adult wolves with 30 members may survive. The current population is thought to be below that number and declining at present. Number 9. Javan rhinoceros. The Javan rhinoceros is a rare Indonesian species that can be found only in one nature reserve on Java. Because the species has vanished from the rest of its former range, there are no other herds, and this preserve is occupied by the maximum number of animals that it can support at 68. The current mature adult population estimate capable of reproducing is just 18 individuals. Poaching for its horn, as well as traditional Asian medicine, is the main danger to the Javan rhino. The langcap palm is a unique hazard affecting this species because it completely suffocates any other form of vegetation, including the rhino's preferred food. Number 8. Gobi bear. The Gobi bear is a subspecies of brown bears that can only be found in Gobi Desert of Mongolia. There are less than 40 mature adults remaining in the wild, and no Gobi bears are kept in captivity. This bear is a hardy and persisting scavenger who survives in an area with little more than 4 inches of rain each year. The Mongolian grasslands of ages past were damaged by habitat loss as a result of mining and uncontrolled grazing by other animals, resulting in a significant effect on all species that reside there. Furthermore, a 14-year drought in which less than 2 inches of rain fell every year also reduced the limited vegetation that the Gobi bear survives on, designating the bear's last 3 habitats as one large national preserve, as well as tagging 20 adults to track the population, are examples of conservation efforts. Number 7. Philippine crocodile. The Philippine crocodile is doing less well than the Kakapo. The species is severely dispersed across Philippine Islands' interior wetlands, with an estimated mature adult population of 92 to 137 individuals. This crocodile is smaller in size than its relatives, with the largest wild-caught specimen measuring under 9 feet long. Their major dietary sources as adults are fish, pigs, dogs, and waterfowl. Philippine crocodiles can be found in a variety of habitats, including rivers, marshes, and ponds. The eradication of rainforests in the region to produce rice fields is now the main hazard to Philippine crocodiles. The saltwater crocodile also resides there and has been observed attacking and consuming humans. As a result, locals are inclined to kill any crocs they come across, which contributes to the decline in numbers of Philippine crocs. Number 6. Kakapo. The Kakapo is a flightless, nocturnal parrot that has lived on the islands of New Zealand for 60 years. The human invasion of the country and the introduction of cats to the region decimated the Kakapos. It is now universally accepted that the parrot is extinct in its natural habitat. A government-sponsored conservation and relocation strategy has resulted in an increase in population size for the species. There are now 116 mature adults spread over 3 smaller islands in New Zealand. The area is almost entirely guarded, and all individuals are tagged and observed by conservationists. Testing of breeding-age adults and additional feeding have resulted in significant boosts in the number of newborns as well as overall survival. Number 5. Vaquita. The vaquita is the rarest mammal in the world. This porpoise dwells only in the extreme northwestern Gulf of California in Mexico. Since 1997, when there were 567 individuals, it has steadily decreased to now being 18 people. It is likely that the vaquita will be extinct within a decade. Unlike other porpoises, mature females produce only once every 2 years, which is double the duration of time in other species. While a variety of potential threats have been identified, unrestricted gill net usage for commercial fishing has been regarded as the main killer. Boats from a single port were identified as responsible for the deaths of 7 to 15% of the entire vaquita population in 1 year. All of these creatures are on the verge of extinction, and it may be too late to save some of them. Preserving these animals in nature because their populations are severely fragmented with a declining number of mature adults is a major task. The majority of these animals have no captive population. For various reasons, it is as essential as ever to understand about the challenges that several endangered species face, as well as what we can do about them. Number 4. Black rhinos. The black rhinoceros, also known as the hook-lipped rhinoceros, is a rhinoceros species that lives in eastern and southern Africa, including Angola, Botswana, Kenya, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Swaziland, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. The color of the rhinoceros varies from brown to gray, despite its name. The black rhinoceros species as a whole is classified as critically endangered, despite the fact that the southwestern black rhinoceros is considered near threatened. The western black rhinoceros was declared extinct by the International Union for Conservation of Nature in 2011, making it one of 3 subspecies to have gone extinct. Even with conservation efforts, it's doubtful that 2 to 5 rhinos can be saved in small groups of 2 to 5 individuals. The greatest known group has only 15 mature rhinoceroses. Number 12. Saola. The Saola is a relative of cattle that more closely resembles a deer. Their rarity and secretive behavior, they are sometimes known as Asian unicorn. The Saola was only discovered in 1992 in the evergreen forest of Vietnam, and no study to determine their number ever been successful owing to the thick jungle and political turmoil in Laos. Habitat destruction and continuous hunting to meet local demand for bushmeat and medical science are among the threats to Saola. Researchers have determined because the Saola is rarely seen on trap cameras, that no viable herds remain. The Saola is not kept in captivity, and there is a wide range of estimates for how many. Number 3. Cross River Gorilla. The Cross River Gorilla is a critically endangered subspecies of the western gorilla. It was designated as a new species in 1904 by Paul Matschie, a zoological taxonomist working at the Humboldt University Zoological Museum in Berlin, but its populations were not systematically studied until 1987. It is the western and northernmost gorilla variety, which lives wooded hills and mountains at the headwaters of the Cross River in the Cameroon-Nigeria border region. It is separated by about 300 kilometers from western lowland gorillas living in Cameroon and 250 kilometers from Cameroon-Igbo forest population of gorillas. According to 2014 estimates, fewer than 250 mature cross-river gorillas remain, making them the rarest great ape in the world. The western gorilla, also known as the black West African gorilla or cross-river gorilla, is a subspecies that has lost its habitat due to human population density. Forests have been cleared for timber and turned into farmland, resulting in a steep decline of cross-river gorillas. The majority of these gorilla families reside within a 12,000 square kilometer range. Recent field research has confirmed the presence of gorillas outside of their known range, suggesting a broader distribution within this area. Genetic research supports this distribution, finding evidence that many cross-river gorilla locations continue to maintain contact via the occasional movement of individuals. In 2009, professional video was captured on a forested mountain in Cameroon showing a cross-river gorilla for the first time ever. Number 2. Hawksbill's sea turtle. Eretmochelys insculpta, also known as the hawksbill sea turtle, is a critically endangered sea turtle belonging to the family Chelonidae. It is the only surviving species in genus Eretmochelys. The species has a global presence with Atlantic and Indo-Pacific subspecies. The appearance of the hawksbill sea turtle is comparable to that of other marine turtles. It has a flattened physique, a defendable carapace, and flipper-like limbs suited for swimming in open water. Its distinctive saw-like shell margins and distinctively pointed beak with prominent tomium distinguish it from other sea turtles. Hawksbill's shells change color gradually based on water temperature. The hawksbill sea turtle is a marine reptile that spends the majority of its life in shallow lagoons and coral reefs. The World Conservation Union has classified hawksbill's sea turtles as critically endangered as a consequence of human fishing activities. Tortoise shell was the major source of decorative materials derived from hawksbill shells. The International Trade in Endangered Species Agreement regulates the international trade of hawksbill sea turtles and goods derived from them. Hawksbill's sea turtles can be found throughout the tropical seas in the world, particularly in coral reefs. These species, on the other hand, are severely endangered and are unlikely to be observed in the wild. Many of these creatures become threatened due to fishing gear, and despite legislation protecting hawksbill turtles, they continue to be hunted for their shells and meat. Number 1. Sumatran elephants. The Sumatran elephant, or the Elephas maximus sumatrae, is one of 3 recognized subspecies of the Asian elephant, and it lives on the Indonesian island of Sumatra. The Sumatran elephant was upgraded from endangered to critically endangered in the Red List by International Union for Conservation of Nature in 2011, as the population had dropped by at least 80% over 3 generations, estimated to be about 75 years years, mostly owing to habitat loss and conflict with humans. Habitat loss, degradation, and fragmentation are the primary causes of endangerment for this species, and over 69% of potential elephant habitat has been lost within the last 25 years. The remaining forest cover is found in blocks smaller than 250 square kilometers, which are insufficient to sustain viable elephant populations. There are roughly 2,400 to 2,800 Sumatran elephants in the wild. Asian elephants are smaller than African elephants and have the highest head-body point of any elephant species. Their trunk has one finger-like process at the end. Males are usually smaller than females, with little or no tusks. Sumatran elephants can reach a height of 6.6 to 10.5 feet, weigh between 2,000 and 4,000 kilograms, and have 20 pairs of ribs on average. With the fewest depigmentation, their skin is lighter than that of Maximus and Indicus. Well, that is the end of the video. Do let us know what you think about this video in the comments below, and do not forget to subscribe the channel. See you next time.